Rap is something we do, while hip-hop is something we live. Since 1973, we have been developing our knowledge of hip-hop, how it functions, and how we ought to correctly express it. And only now, some 50 years later, has it become possible to reveal the first stages of what we have learned. The body of knowledge that I'm about to reveal to you is authentic, accurate, and authoritative.
But up in the Bronx and Harlem, as opposed to downtown, midtown Manhattan, with the disco ball and the lights and the mirrors and all the silk dresses and suits and ties, we were uptown in the ghetto without sneakers, because we couldn't relate to that disco music, because from the 60s and the Motown sound with the snare, here comes disco, they call it 4 on the floor. The bass drum, boom, 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 and that was disco. But we didn't relate to all of that, flashy stuff. We didn't have the money to dress like that either. So we had all ages clubs up in the Bronx and Harlem, and then we had block parties, and we had community centers, and this is where hip hop comes from. It is sort of like a mutation of disco. I call it ghetto disco. And those people in the middle of the circle became B-boys because they danced to the breaks. And I can expound on that. I want to keep it short and just say I come out of that era and I love music. I mean, I remember I used to go into the club and just take my head and put it inside the speaker and close my eyes and listen to that bass. It was rumbling all throughout my body to my toes. And I used to close my eyes and just go off, and that was hip hop.
Like I say, I was emulating karate sounds.
Okay.
Black Belt Theater used to come on right after Soul Train on Saturdays.
Flying guillotine.
So I was doing that, and then one day I just said, I'm gonna start trying to make music with it. So first I just different basic stuff. Trying to do it, and then people would hear it, and they'd be like, oh, that sound all right. Hey, Mike, do that what you was doing earlier, And I would do it, And then, like I say, when the Fat Boys came out and found out it was something everybody can do, I was like, hey, it's on now. Now, how I got the name Rockbox, it actually comes from an old Run DMC song. If you ever look at Run DMC, when they first came out, one of their first singles was called Rockbox.
Their first album.
Yeah, on their first album called Rockbox. And that was my favorite song, and I used to play it on my boombox all the time. Every day I did, And I go to school one day, and I was out there, I had my boombox, and had the breakers, they were break dancers, brought them linoleum out and stuff, break dancing during lunchtime. And I was about to beatbox with somebody, and they was like, come on, Rockbox, do your thing, And it kind of stuck with me, and I was like, wait a minute, they start calling me Rockbox before I even called myself Rockbox. So we used to just rap to a hand clap, and your rhyme was the melody, And then when the beatboxing came out, that was just another deal of enhancing hip hop. And then from there, here come the DJs and then the producers and everything else. Rap stands for rhythm and poetry.
There you go.
Rhythm and poetry, that's what it stands for. Because I know when I first heard Sugar Hill Gang, when they had a song called Rapper's Delight. When I first heard that, I knew what I wanted to do for the rest of my life.
Oh, yeah, hands down.
Shout out to my boy Kevin Tyler from Rockstar. He was a talent show. Surprised my ass by going on stage and start popping. You understand? To see popping for the first time. I'm a dancer at heart, b-boy heart. That was it. I was like, that's the shit I want to do. That led to me going on Soul Train. I used to dance on Soul Train, but I always shout out Ronald Blunt, one of the first. And both of these cats, by the way, was white, but they had that funk.
Yeah.
And that's all it needed. That story I shared with my son, who's also a popper, my dog, my dog. That like opened up the whole door. Plus my two uncles, Uncle Tony, who was a b-boy. I used to wear his clothes all the time. He was bodyguarded at all the concerts in the 805, and he would sit me down while the Fat Boys or Rodney or Joe Cooley was rocking. And I never forgot that. And my uncle Tony, Uncle Kevin, was the DJ who would play records and have records everywhere. But I was a knucklehead. I learned late in life to appreciate records. Matter of fact, it was so crazy that he was the known collector of records that him and Madlib were exchanging records before I even met Madlib. Crazy, right? Madlib coming to my house and we ain't even met yet, but we ended up becoming best friends. Crazy.
Back in the days, we had jobs, straight up. MCs had jobs. We did that at night and we did it on the weekend. But we worked hard all day. All day we worked. We had money. We rolled up to the gym. We were fresh. It wasn't like now, and this is all referring to the question. Who were we then? There was no industry. So there was nobody to lean on. So you had to do it yourself. I think that's the fundamental difference between then and now. You had to do it yourself, your clothes. You couldn't go somewhere and just buy them. You had to sit, rip your jacket a certain way, sit, write on your stuff a certain way, get your hat a certain way, get your kicks a certain way, and you had to do them all yourself. And so when you showed up, you were self-made all the way down from your rhyme to your clothing. You were self-made. Now that's self-made. Now imagine 100 people self-made, but the mainstream only takes one or two of them. And that one or two is what we now know today is total hip-hop. Just because the mainstream rap music industry did not put a spotlight on those particular things, they remained dormant. The only thing we ever really made money on in hip hop was rap. Graffiti writing had a little buzz in the late 80s. There was a little buzz, like when money was being passed. Like it's a little something, but it never really got to where it really was supposed to be. Really. Breaking is doing fine. Breaking seems to never really pop off, but it seems to always have its place in movie, theater, videos, live performances. If you're a real professional b-boy, b-girl troupe, you can eat today. No doubt. If you organize, DJs are eating all over the world. The profession of DJing is booming, going up and up and up. MCing, rap, I should say, is what is faltering because it can't make the money anymore. So people tend to say that it's hip-hop that's faltering. That's a lie. Hip-hop is doing well.
Listen, hey, once upon a time not long ago, there was a brother named Random with an ill-type flow. Used to go to open mics and serve cats on a regular. Way before a cellular, he was mic checking up. Knew the ins and outs of the underground game. Had an underground name and some underground fame. Met a major label, they presented him with shade and said,
give us 3 albums and we'll get you paid.
They didn't like the first test, they didn't like the science. There wasn't any sex, any drugs, any violence. They didn't want a green light album number 2, cause I jumped in the booth and spoke truth to the youth. They wasn't trying to see album number 3, unless I start working out to be sexy. Placed on the back burner way up in the cut, that's when I started waking up. Waking up. They don't wanna build you up. They don't wanna build you up. They don't wanna lift you time. But the change in your pockets, man, nickels and dimes. And the money's getting enormous, so they losing their minds. So now we got MCs that can't even rhyme. Little this and little that, surrounded by some sycophants that won't tell them shit's a little whack. I was a stallion, listening to Chuck D tell me why the rock beats and medallions. Brother J speaking, getting to the point. Poor righteous teachers rocking this fucking joint. And I don't know if I will ever be like that again. Me and back bikes again. I'm just trying to give your brain a little break and fill you up. Using my powers to lift you up. Let's go! They don't wanna build you up. They don't wanna build you up. They don't wanna lift you up. They don't wanna lift you up. They don't wanna wake you up. All they wanna do is take you down, 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 down. But I'm here to build you up. But I'm here to build you up. But I'm here to lift you up. But I'm here to lift you up. They don't wanna build you up. They don't wanna build you up. They don't wanna lift you up. They don't wanna lift you up. They don't wanna wake you up. All they wanna do is take you down, 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 down. But I'm here to build you up. But I'm here to build you up. But I'm here to lift you up. But I'm here to lift you up. Man, it is 2025 right now. Remember we used to have to save up our money for studio time? Everybody got studios on their phone right now, man. We gotta take advantage of that. We used to have to hop fences and paint on cars. Now we're painting beautiful things on murals. Black and brown together. We can do this. Do you understand that? Do you understand that? Do you understand that?
I started rapping like 1986, 87. From Pasadena, had a real good friend named DJ Broadway that was, very accessible, and he was doing a lot of things. I would just sit and listen. Early hip hop, you had to sit and listen. You couldn't just grab the mic and start rapping. You had to wait for your turn. So I would just sit and listen. So I would rap by myself, but I wouldn't get outside my own little bubble. But that's when I first started putting on flight hours in 86. A long time ago. It's 15 years old. It's great.
Like I said, I was influenced a lot from East Coast MCs and producers, and we didn't really have no identity. There was no hip hop identity out here on the West back. We had Ice-T, Disco Daddy, and that was it. We had the Bay too. I think Too Short was out then, but I guess people took a liking to me because I sounded like I was kind of from the East Coast because I was, trying to imitate LL Cool J or somebody, what I'm saying, but in my own little way. So, my friends took a liking to me because I sounded different. I didn't sound like how they were rapping, and the only kind of rap we had was Tiny T or Egyptian Lover.
A full Spanish song by Sendog. He rapped it completely in Spanish. Sendog's verse was completely in Spanish, and they didn't have any of that anywhere else, especially on Sony or Rough House Sony. And so that's what got us the deal. But we didn't want to be put in a box, right? Because there was no market for Spanish hip hop yet. There were Spanish kids that listened to hip hop that they were growing up with this shit with us, right? They weren't necessarily listening to their parents' music anymore. This was something they gravitated to, and it's ours, right? But again, there was no market for it yet, so we didn't want Sony saying we were a Latin hip hop group. We were just a hip hop group, and we decided we would sprinkle our music with our Latin culture here and there instead of it being the primary tag of what Cypress still is. But quickly we found the connection that it had into the Latin countries we would eventually visit, South and Central America, and going off to Spain and seeing the impact that it had globally. We had no idea that it would reach that far. We thought, within our community it would probably be cool, because we saw what Kid Frost and No Names was able to do with the Spanish. But it became something more important to us, because now, it opened up the doors for Latin rappers to come do it in their native tongue. or mix it like some of us were doing. And to see what happened after that. I mean, we released all Spanish hip hop record, which was the first one anyone had done. And it was a few original songs and translations of our previous songs. And the impact that it had surprised the shit out of all of us because we didn't know that there was going to end up being a market for it. We were very much skeptical about that. And then when we see the effects of it, and then eventually you start hearing, more rappers rapping in Spanish, and then reggaeton becomes a thing where it's, the reggae and the hip hop mixed together.
Soy chicana, no buchona, pero mando sin diploma, idioma de dinero. Si no hablo, mijo, toma. ¿Cuál persona puede navegar tus banderas en hábitat? Ángel de la guaya tiene plumas como águila. En Guajira, nativas hablan en español. Pelean como apaches, somos hijas del sol. Tanta calor y nos quemamos, nuestra tierra sí quedamos. Tus fronteras, ilusiones de control, 200 años. Cleanliness is godliness, so struggle to the skinks. It's a frosty frost world, baby, so the technique.
It's so many times throughout a month that I'm like, I can't believe I'm here. Like, can y'all imagine, like, I was rapping at the White House with the first black president, and that type of stuff, and then, just last year I was on stage with Shaka Khan, who is from Chicago, who's one of my heroes, and I'm like, man, I can't believe I'm doing this.
That's what makes hip hop hip hop. Obscurity. Yeah.
This is Los Angeles. Again, we heard all the story. It's just a fad. It's not going to last a long time. It's going to be around maybe 2-3 years and get ripped on and get some reggae, So, if you want to keep this thing successful and make it really go to the top and be on the pop market and all that stuff, cross over and be a part of America and the whole scene, you have to keep it clean. Keep it clean. And people will accept it. People will play it on the radio if you keep it clean. So I went back to the Sugar Hill Gang and Grandmaster Flash and the Furious 5 right before we did our first national interview on Radio Scope, right? And I said, fellas, I just talked to Reverend Jesse Jackson the other day, man. He told me we are the new heroes of the black community and we gotta keep it clean. So we made a code of ethics right there. We were never gonna curse on the microphone. So yeah, and if you listen to the Sugar Hill records, all of their albums, they never curse. Grandmaster Millionaire and Sugar Hill and the Furious 5, they never curse. I made 243 rap songs and never used profanity.
Yo, that was historical. Look at what we did for hip hop, y'all. Look at what we did. all the generations in the house. This is how we pass down the torch. You know what I'm saying? In real time. This is what hip hop does. This is how we're able to utilize our tool, our solution to community development, y'all. Look at how we develop this community. Look at everybody. We got all elements in the house at once. You know what I mean? We hold it down, activation in the middle of downtown. You know what I'm saying? Things that back in the day we wouldn't have been able to do. But look at what we're doing. We're taking advantage of our creative expression and we're bringing unity to the forefront. This is what that revolution looks like, right?